grandparents, the neighbor down the street, our coaches, our teachers. Each and every one of them are the reason we are the adults we are today. While you're thinking about them, I want you to picture a boy who's lacking one or more of those role models. Growing up in a single-parent home, mom's working 2 jobs, so he doesn't even have a chance to be on a youth sports team. So there's no coach in his life. And right now, his school district just made the classrooms a little bit larger. So teachers, student ratios are much larger. From the beginning, this child is going to be at a deficit. And will need mentors to help get to the next level. We'll need a mentor. And that's what we do, one-to-one mentoring. But what do we achieve? Well, we know from doing this for the last 50 plus years, our kids are not doing drugs. They're not getting in trouble in school. They're not having fights at home with their kid sister. And they're actually doing better in school. They have an outlook for life. They're doing much better. But what we do is not just impacting them for 1 year or 2 years, we see a long-term impact. We recently were part of a study of adult littles. These are adults who were mentored when they were children. And we compare them to the kids growing up in the same neighborhoods they did. They are graduating from college at much higher rates than the parents did, and especially the kids they grew up with. 80% of them are more likely to be actually giving back to their own community, volunteering and changing their own communities when they're adults. And as well, they have a higher likelihood of be living in a household income $70,000 or higher. So with the help of our volunteers, we're actually breaking the cycle of poverty for a lot of these families. We know the impact we make. But sadly, we have 152 kids, mainly boys, sitting on a waiting list. And even more so, we have more people waiting to even get an application from us today. Due to recent cuts in government grants and spending, we're actually limiting the number of new volunteers we're accepting. Because our case managers, all of whom are sitting here with you today, are at the maximum. We don't want to jeopardize quality, we don't want to jeopardize safety, just to add more numbers. And as I talk anytime, I always think about some of our bigs. And I'm only going to share one story with you, and that's Woody. Woody was matched with Jeff when he was 11 years old. Jeff was raised by his grandmother and sister in the city of Canton. They were together for a few years. Though he only asked for a 1-year commitment, they were together until he turned 18. And they're still friends today. But Woody shared this story with me not too long ago. Jeff gave him a call, now 21 years old, having finished his associate's degree. He goes, my fiancée and I are now expecting a child. And he was calling Woody for help. He says, Woody, you're the only dad I've ever known. I'm going to need some help as I become a dad myself. So that relationship will keep going. Now you're hearing our impact, you're hearing some of the stories. Last year we served about 700 kids. We have a goal to hit 1,000. Can you imagine what we're doing in our communities if we max 1,000 kids? 1,000 fewer kids getting in trouble. 1,000 more kids doing better in school. 1,000 more families who are getting out of poverty. As I tell these stories and I think of these stories, yes, I see Woody, I see Tracy, but that's not the only people I see. With each and every match, I see people like Brenda, like Laura, who you'll hear from. People who are volunteering in other ways. People who are donating. Because none of our matches could do anything without donor support. The impact of those quiet people is tremendous, and that's what we're asking of you today. So if you can envision matching 1,000 more kids, can you share that vision with me? Can you see the impact? Think about how you can help us reach that. Think about how you can get something started today.